Good Friday morning. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist just Les Still here with you, headed into the weekend. Should be a nice weekend in store for us in Eastern Carolina. Our first real taste of fall coming our way. And we've got lots of action to track in the tropics. In fact, let's start off there. We've got kind of three areas, tropics at the corners, if you will, that we are tracking here. We've got Umberto, our hurricane, first hurricane of the season. We've got Gabrielle kind of pulsing up and down as far as hurricane or a tropical storm, tropical depression, back up to a tropical storm. That's going to be gone here, though, soon. And what eventually will be Ingrid. That's tropical depression 10 right now, but I got a feeling by the end of this Friday it is going to be upgraded. Here are the stats on Umberto, Category 1 hurricane. Pressure starting to come up a little bit, moving to the west-northwest. It's already coming off of its peak. It peaked yesterday, and as we progress on through the day today, it's only going to weaken. In fact, you'll notice quickly from today and through tomorrow and then going into Sunday how the wind field with this really shrinks with the storm. So that's it, starting to weaken, ingesting the drier air, also starting to get over cooler sea surface temperatures. So we are really going to watch for this to weaken. It navigates around the Tut and then eventually gets pulled on the backside of the Azores high, and as a result, it kind of gets shunted to the north and then eventually off to the northeast with, again, no impact to us here in Eastern Carolina. Gabrielle we'll talk about in a minute, but the area we want to talk about now is Tropical Depression 10. This, again, potentially could be upgraded to Ingrid later on Friday afternoon going into the weekend. This is something we're going to track and potentially could get up to maybe a hurricane before it makes landfall around Tampico, Mexico, between there and the U.S.-Mexican border. Not anticipating any influences across deep South Texas other than some high cloudiness, but some record-setting heavy rains potentially making its way in towards that Tampico region of Mexico, which, if you think about it, you had Tropical Depression 8 go in there last week, and you also had Ferdinand go in there 2 weeks ago, so that same region has seen some more flooding rains, and I got a feeling that's going to be a headline-making storm as we progress on through this weekend. TD number 10, located at 19.5 north and 95.0 west as of 8 o'clock this morning. Again, about 1,600 miles away from us here in Eastern Carolina. No influence on our weather, no dangers to alert you to with this. Notice here's the 8 o'clock advisory, and it does take it up to hurricane status as we go on through this weekend before making landfall. And again, could be a Category 1 or maybe even 2 storm by late Sunday night going into Monday, and then quickly raining things out in that portion of Mexico. For us, it's Gabrielle way off of our coast, but it is kind of making a comeback during the overnight diurnal cycle. We are going to watch and see if this can last during the daylight hours today. And the low-level center is still off to the south and west of where the deeper convection is. So we are seeing some of that shear starting to affect Gabrielle. Official forecast track basically dissipates it to just a remnant low pressure as it makes its way on up towards Atlantic Canada. Looks like by Saturday going into Sunday that will be impacting them as it makes its way on up further to the north to the death knells of the North Atlantic for tropical systems. All right, here's what we're dealing with at home here. Mixture of sun and clouds, scattered showers, and thunder showers around as we head on through the day today. Southwesterly wind this morning becoming more northerly this afternoon. And talking about mid-80s, not up near 90 where we have been the past couple days. That lower mid-80s, that's actually average for this time of year. Spotty shower or two around the night, especially up until midnight along the Albemarle Sound counties. Otherwise, though, kind of a mixture of sun and clouds. Temperatures back down into the 60s tonight, and we'll continue with the sun and clouds as we go on through the day tomorrow. But definitely less humid, lower dew point air coming in behind this system. Take a look and see where we topped out at yesterday. In fact, yesterday may have been one of our last runs at 90 degrees. Lots of 88 showing up on the map, low 90s, and this is pretty much where we had been for the majority of this week. But as I mentioned, 84, that is average. That's where we should be for this time of year. Definitely not setting any records. Warmth off to the east of the front, but the cooler air is coming across the plains. Look at southern Canada this morning into the 30s, just barely above freezing. Now, we're not going to see that cold of air, but that's the source region for this air mass that's heading our way, and we'll get another reinforcing shot of this cooler air coming our way as we do head on into the first part of next week. Meanwhile, we're starting off into the 70s and probably only going to see daytime highs in the upper 70s as we go on through tomorrow. Front coming through, not really a whole lot of moisture to work with. The upper level support with it is kind of shearing out. But it does have a front that connects all the way back into Colorado here. And again, more flooding rainfalls for Boulder, This is going to continue to be a headline as we head on in through this weekend. The big upper level ridge sitting out there east of the Rockies, that's what basically got this weather pattern locked in place. And as a result, continuing to feed that tropical moisture out of the Baja up through the desert Southwest and right into Boulder. In fact, you can see here at the jet stream level, you'll notice that flow in the atmosphere showing you that moisture going right up into Mexico, or from Mexico into New Mexico and Utah, Colorado. Then on the flip side of it, this trough digging here in the east with our airflow now coming out of Canada as opposed to the desert Southwest here. We are going to be looking for temperatures that are going to be below normal for much of this upcoming weekend before we finally warm things back up. Notice, though, the upper level ridge does start to make its way back into the area here as we head into the early part of next week, and then that's going to allow more seasonal temperatures to get back in here. But notice, trough digging back in Monday and Tuesday brings that next shot of some cooler air back into the forecast here. So here's how Future Track plays it out. We are going to be looking at the mixture of sun and clouds. Anywhere the sun tries to come out, that differential heating, that's what's going to pop some showers and storms. Again, lots of cloud cover, but maybe a peek or two of sunshine from time to time, not completely out of the question as we go on through the day today. Also, overnight tonight, those showers are going to be around for Friday night football, but do not expect them to be widespread coverage, and they should be dying off as we go on through the evening hours here. Clouds hang around, according to this model. Now, all the models are showing the high pressure mixing out the inversion by tomorrow morning, so that's something we'll continue to track and alert you to. Meanwhile, either way, we are going to see some sunshine developing from north to south as we go on through the day tomorrow. That high pressure settles in over us with lots of sunshine as we do head on in through the day on Sunday. Again, mid-80s today, back down into the mid-60s tonight, and then only into the mid-70s for top temperatures tomorrow, so definitely much on the cooler side. Headed to the ECU game, we're doing some tailgating in the morning. We've got temps with some clouds starting off into the 60s, making our way into the low to mid-70s as the game progresses against Virginia Tech. After that, ECU is going to be hitting the road for 3 straight weeks. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Dill. Have yourself a good weekend.